recently cruised to Italy and we had the best experience we have had at any destination ever. And we cannot wait to tell you about it. Hey everyone, my name is Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And we are
JJ
Cruise. Thank you so much for checking out the video today. Today we are going to tell you about the #1 thing that we did in Europe, and potentially it is the #1 thing that we have done ever in our lives.
But before we do, please hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 30,000 subscribers and we want you to be a part of it, and it's free to you to do so. So hit that subscribe button and give a thumbs up while you're at it.
Now let's get into talking about this experience. Now for those of you that don't know, we recently sailed from Florida over to Europe on a transatlantic cruise. If you want to see what that's like, you can click the link above. We did a lot of content specifically about that transatlantic. But once we got over there, we spent quite a bit of time in Spain, France, and a lot of time in Italy. And today we're going to be talking about Florence.
Yeah, Florence, Italy is one of our favorite places that we toured in Italy, and that is partially because whatever it is you're looking to do, you can probably find it in Florence, whether it's good eats, good drinks, lots of art, and lots of sculptures, and everything that you think of when it comes to Italy can be found usually in Florence.
And now Florence is located in the state of Tuscany, and the Tuscany Valley is of course known for wine. It is wine country. There's so many grapes that are grown there that are turned into wines that are distributed all around the world. And we wanted to live our one day in the Tuscany Valley drinking and experience wines. So we looked at a number of excursions for a long time. And there was a lot of large group tours that would take you to different regions of Tuscany, take you to different wineries, definitely give you, a few samples, like 3 to 5 samples of wine throughout the day, but we noticed that they were all so expensive.
So of course we wanted to do our furthest research possible before selecting the one we get to do. And we came across one experience that actually happened to be on an app we had never used before, and that is on Airbnb. If you aren't familiar, we actually just talked about this in a recent video of the top 10 apps for travel. You can click that link above if you're interested. But when we're talking about this Airbnb experience, yes, you're not living in their home, you are actually experiencing with a local guide something that they do really well or they know a lot about. So this experience was all about an actual winemaker in Tuscany Valley that you can go ahead and spend an entire day with just 9 other people, 10 in total, by having an amazing experience with wine, learning how it's produced, and then ending with a meal inside their actual home.
Now the day started around 10 a.m. We went to a meeting point and we were picked up by a couple of vans, the group of 10 of us, and taken out of the city of Florence. We took a ride for about 45 minutes to an actual winery where there was wine being produced and distributed, and that portion of the day was actually very educational. We got to learn all about the types of wine that was produced here. Some of these wineries actually are made up of multiple winemakers. So the winery that we went to had a lot of different winemakers that were producing their wine there. It was kind of like a workspace, or like a WeWork space, a shared space for winemakers in Tuscany. While we were there, they started popping bottles of wine. I don't even remember how many bottles we actually tasted there at the winery.
I think it was 3 or 4, but the best part is this was just the beginning. We also had some homemade focaccia with this amazing olive oil drenched on top of it, and it was as much as you wanted. There was a basket overflowing with focaccia. And let's just say I'm glad I had more than a couple pieces of focaccia, because we were about to embark on another journey to the actual house where this winemaker lives and taste even more wines and more to come.
So we got back in the van. We went another like 25 minutes to a farm in Tuscany. This farm set up on top of a hill. We had incredible views for days. We sat outside where they popped some Prosecco, and if you don't know, Prosecco is similar to champagne in the sense that it is sparkling wine, but it is an Italy. So any type of sparkling, bubbly wine in Italy is going to be Prosecco. So they popped Prosecco. They brought us out a few different things to try and eat. I think we had a soup that had mashed up bread in it.
I wish I could remember the exact name because it was amazing, but it was almost like what they would normally call like a leftover soup, where anything of the day before that was left undone, left uneaten, I should say, went into this soup, and it was a tomato-based soup, and it was delicious. And of course, they said this was all fresh. They didn't do that. They didn't put leftovers from the day before's Airbnb or anything like that, but it was absolutely delightful. And then we had some pate after that. I mean,
not just pate. We also had some truffle butter.
Oh, the truffle butter. I mean, we had 3 different courses just right there, 3 different appetizers just to whet our palate while we're drinking another 4 bottles of champagne amongst the 10 of us.
Prosecco.
Sorry, Prosecco.
They let us spend some time outside. We took a lot of pictures. Definitely some of those are over on our Instagram channels. But then they brought us inside and we had no idea what we were in store for.
We already thought we got our money's worth, and we'll tell you at the end how much we actually paid for this. But we were blown away at the fact that they invited us inside for what was a spread unlike anything we've ever seen before. Maybe in a movie, maybe in the big screen, but we have never seen in person a table spread like this.
I mean, there was so many different types of meats. There was probably 25 different types of cheeses. There was tomato. There was just everything was fresh. And then we had fresh balsamic and olive oil. I could have honestly just drank the bottle of balsamic myself. But we sat and we ate for probably an hour while they brought us more wines. At this point, I'm not even kidding, we probably opened up the 18th or 19th bottle of wine. The wine was just flowing all throughout the day.
It definitely felt like 18 or 19 bottles, whether it was or not. But what I will say here is this is where we really got to taste the Chianti that was actually made by the winemaker himself. He had a lot of his neighbors, a lot of his other friends, the bottles before this. So it was really nice to have, while you're in his home, be able to actually have his bottles of wine, his Chianti, while eating this amazing spread.
You could tell that the wine was made with love and the table spread was also put together with love. But as we were kind of winding down and getting really, really full, they were like, all right, who's ready for the main course?
The main course, which was a pasta dish that was unbelievable, definitely homemade, and it felt that way. And it definitely felt, like you said, made with love.
They then bring us out dessert and dessert wine. And the dessert was like a brownie type of cake with some chocolate on top. It, of course, was delicious. And the wine was so good, too. Now, at this point of the experience, we were stuffed. And you're probably wondering, how are you guys not falling over at this point after all of that wine? And we did learn an interesting fact that wines in Italy actually have a lower alcohol percentage than wines that we drink here in the US. So that made a lot of sense to us because we had seen people constantly be drinking wine, 2-3 bottles easily with their dinner. And we're like, how are these people still standing? And it's because the alcohol content is significantally lower over in Italy. And that made sense to us.
Oh, of course. And that wasn't the actual end. We actually went to a photo op point in the valleys that really was epic. This was part of where their vineyards are. This is where the grapes are harvested. So we were able to take pictures in the vines, so to speak. And had some epic views all the way back to our meeting point, back in main center of Florence, Italy.
All in all, this was one of the most incredible experiences. I know we keep saying that, but what made it so incredible was the price that we paid.
We almost didn't do it because it wasn't the most expensive. A lot of times you think the most expensive has to be the best, but we saw that this was the top rated and we were a little hesitant, but we were so glad we did because the price was
$89 per person. For $89 per person, we had like 7 hours of eating foods and drinking wines. And in comparison to like $200 or $300 per person for some of these other excursions where you only got to visit like 1 or 2 places. We thought this was an incredible deal, and it's honestly something that we would recommend anyone do if you're going to Florence.
It was not just us. Every single person in our group raved about it, and it is a 5-star reviewed Airbnb experience. So if you're interested at all in going to Florence and wanting to have the best experience of your life, definitely check out this experience because you will not regret it.
Well, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that if you're going to Italy at some point, you're going to get to spend the most magical day in the Tuscany region that we were able to spend.
Me too.
But until next time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video,
and comment below. Let us know if you've used Airbnb experiences, because we want to know, are there other rave reviewed experiences out there that we need to know about? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear.
All right. And until next time, see ya.
See ya.